Oh, I'm live. Trying to figure out this live stuff. Anyways, so I wanted in today's video, one, I wanted to test out live stuff, and then two, I wanted to go over the three bottlenecks that you have as an Amazon perspective seller, I guess, prospective seller, however you say that. I wanted to go over like, so you're just hearing about Amazon and you're wanting to get into it. There's gonna be 3 different, stair steps that you gotta take, when you really can't skip one and get to the other, you know what I'm saying? So Amazon is not like eBay. eBay, anybody can sell today. Like, I sold on eBay back, like, 7 years ago whenever I didn't know what reselling was, didn't know it was a thing, and I just was reselling random things in my room, and or not reselling, I guess, selling things, in my room. But Amazon, it's a lot more of, it's harder to get into, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing because you you want there to be a barrier of entry. Barrier of entry means that, it's hard to start, so that means there's going to be less competition comparatively to like eBay, which is easy to start. You can start today. Amazon takes a while. And I kind of compiled that there's three different steps to getting started. Number one is education. And I say education because it's not like eBay, for example, is it's easy to hop onto a YouTube channel and kind of understand that you want to one look for something that brings you back some money whenever you buy it. Pretty easy to buy something really cheap at a Goodwill and resell it. And two, you want to look at the sell through rate, and that's pretty much all you got to know about eBay. But with Amazon, there's tools you gotta learn. There's several different ways that you can approach Amazon. There's, selling media, there's online arbitrage, there's retail arbitrage, there's wholesale, and all of them have different entry points. And so you need to educate yourself first to kind of know which route you want to go down. If you want to do the wholesale route, you're going to need a little more capital. It's if you only have $100, maybe going to Goodwills and scanning books is your best fit. If you only got $1,000, then maybe you can get into the online arbitrage, or the retail arbitrage and still get a good return on it. Um, it's all about learning the ropes first, because you can't really get into the next phase of Amazon without understanding where you're wanting to go. Because, I mean, you don't wanna spend too much time on this. Analysis paralysis is a thing, and I honestly think if you spend, if you're only gonna be able to spend an hour a day, take a month. Take a month, month and a half, and just watch, an hour a day of YouTube channels. Buy a course or something, you don't really have to buy a course. You can learn all you need to know on YouTube, but you need to learn the basics first, and then you get to the next step. The next step, number 2, is experience. Once you've educated yourself enough to understand what path you're wanting to go down, if it's wholesale, if it's online arbitrage, if it's media reselling, whatever it is, now you got to do the hard part. And this one is where you spend the majority of your time at the beginning, at least. This one, like, the experience education is a month, month and a half, max 2 months, and then after that, you need to start taking action. But experience is whenever you're taking action. You're taking a ton of action, you're buying and buying and buying, and you're probably buying the wrong things at the beginning. I know I was. You're not buying the right things, but I guess that's a cost of doing business, as they would say. You have to take those licks at the beginning. You have to fail a few times to be like, okay, that's not the way to do this. Okay, that's a scam. Okay, you have to experience it firsthand, unfortunately, to understand what you're doing. And that's just the way it is. And that's why I say the experience is the next bottleneck. and experience takes a long time. It's a long, long grind because you're not really gonna know what to buy and how to buy it, how much to buy, at what price to buy. You're not gonna know any of that at the beginning, and the only way to learn it, I mean, someone can tell you. If you got a mentor, that's, huge, but more than likely, most people who are starting this, number 1, don't have a lot of capital to buy, time from a mentor, because mentors are not cheap. Like, if you're wanting to buy I my time is not available, you know what I'm saying? So it's gonna cost a lot, but you don't need one. You can learn all this on your own. It's just gonna take a little bit longer. You're gonna need to take the bad buys and learn from those mistakes. The experience part is like I'm still learning. I'm still in the experience part. I'm moving into the next phase, which we'll get into the purchase power or money. I'm moving into that phase now, but I've been in the experience phase for almost 3 years now. I mean, I'll take a little bit off for education, so we'll say 2.5 years. I've been grinding for a long time, and a main reason for that is, um, if anybody's done any college and they've, been was going for a degree that they wanted, and then halfway through that degree, they were like, "I don't really like this degree. I wanna change to something else." And then you have to take all these more classes, all these other classes that you didn't even think you had to take, on top of the classes that you didn't really need for this new degree that you kinda wasted time on, and that's kinda what I did. I went from selling books, like cherry picking books, to going to, online arbitrage, like traditional, like buying brand new products from retailers, and then did that for a year, and now I'm back to media. And that little hiccup there, that where I kind of veered off to online arbitrage, yeah, I spent a whole year learning that. And I'm not gonna say that it's the wrong way to do things, because there's plenty of people making good money doing that. I just I just couldn't make it work. It was not a good direction for me to go. I don't know if it was because I didn't have enough capital. I don't know if I was just buying the wrong things the entire time. But I just couldn't make it work. So I'm back now to media, but I'm kind of combining both of the education and the experience that I got from the Goodwill, the cherry picking books, and the online arbitrage. And I'm doing both now. I'm doing where I'm going to Goodwills. I am scanning books still, just not as much. I'm more heavily leaning into the online arbitrage media method. And so I've took that failure of, online arbitrage, the traditional online arbitrage. I took that failure that I had, and I used that as a learning experience, and I put it towards books. And that's just kinda something that I had to go through, you know what I'm saying? I had to go through that to learn where I need to be, you know what I'm saying? Now I know where I'm going. I know exactly what to buy in order to get exactly what I want out of that. You know what I'm saying? So that's once you've done that enough and you know where you're going, you don't have a problem finding the product, even if it is wholesale or online arbitrage, the traditional online arbitrage. Even if it is that, you have to get get to the point where your experience has you confident that you know that if you buy this product in this amount at this price, you will get this back, most likely. It's never a guarantee, obviously, but most likely you will get this back. And that's where the experience ends. And now you've got to the point where the next bottleneck comes, and it's money. Money and purchase power. Money, once you get to this point, you know what to buy. You know where to go to get what you need. You know how much to buy. You know what price to buy it. You're over the experience hump. Now you've reached the purchase power bottleneck, where you just don't have enough money to buy what you know you need. So if it's traditional online arbitrage, or if it's wholesale, you know you need this exact amount of product for this month to sell through. but you're only able to buy half of that. You see what I'm saying? So now you're needing to build the capital up more than anything. For books, for me, it's I'm I'm like having to cap myself at a spending limit. I'm not able to buy all the books that I find every day because I'm like, all right, I've reached right now I'm pretty much spending like $200 a day. And once I reach that, I kind of have to stop myself, even though there's more books that I know that I can buy. I have to stop myself, or else at the end of once I do my accounting every 10th and 25th, I will look back at that and I'll be like, oh man, I don't have enough money in my bank account to pay off my credit cards. And that's a problem. I haven't paid any interest yet, and I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna pay any interest on a credit card at least. Um, so what I have done to kind of mitigate the purchase power, because as they say, as long as you know what to get, you can always find the money. You can always find some money somewhere, somehow. And that is true. And what I've done is I've taken advantage of the Amazon loans. Um, I started off with just $1,000. I pulled out $1,000 from Amazon and used that to buy inventory. And then I paid that off as quick as I possibly could. I I don't think that I don't think that it's a bad thing to go into it, but you have to be smart about it. Don't pull out a loan and go and buy a new tool or buy a new, you know, a new computer with it or anything. Take that loan and put it all into product and then pay it off as quick as possible. The reason I say pay it off as quick as possible at the beginning, at least, once you get into the more heavier loans and stuff, I'm sure there's other advanced methods, but at the beginning, pay it off as quick as possible, because as soon as you pay it off, Amazon will offer you a bigger loan, and then you can pull that one out, do the same exact thing, put it all into inventory. Then once you pay that off as quick as possible, they'll offer you a bigger loan, and you just kinda keep rolling that in, rolling it in, rolling it in. Like, I don't wanna say that this is not financial advice. Like, if you are not comfortable taking a loan out, don't do it. If you're not gonna be able to sleep at night, don't do it. Me, on the other hand, I took loans out and knowing that I had no idea what I was doing, just because I needed to learn how to handle a loan. I needed to learn, those little intricate things, because it's hard to know what to do with something whenever you've never experienced it. And that's back to the experience one, I guess. But you need to get to the point where your money's kind of flowing. And for me, that was to pull out those loans, use the money that I'm getting back from there to pay it off as quick as possible, and then roll it back in, and then roll it back in, and then roll it back in. You know what I'm saying? I've done that 3 times now. I got $1,000 loan, or sorry, 4 times. I got $1,000 loan, I got a $5,000 loan, and then last time I got a $10,000 loan, and then I just now pulled out an $11,000 loan. And um the one experience that I did kind of learn on one of the loans was I did like a percentage of my income, and I did not like that. I'm sure there's a way to handle that, but the percentage of my income, like my it was whenever I was doing online arbitrage still, and so my margins were already super razor thin, and that just made them even thinner. And man, that hurt. I wasn't ready for that. So that loan was kind of painful to pay off, but I made it a priority to pay that off before I did anything. You know what I'm saying? So there are ways to mitigate the purchase power or your money bottleneck. You just have to be a little creative. I'm there. Like, I also, so I don't really, this one I don't recommend, but I did pull out credit cards, and I maxed 3 of them out, and oof, that hurt my credit score. My credit score I just now paid off my last one that I did that with, and my credit score is fine now, but man, it was hurting there for a while. I wasn't buying a house or anything, so it really didn't matter, and I was just kind of using my credit score for that reason. Um, but that one's risky because god dang, credit card, what do you call that? Interest rates are astronomical. Like, don't play around with credit cards if you don't have any experience with it. I I didn't I pulled out those 0% APR credit cards, that way I had a whole year to pay them off, and that did help, but man, at the end of that year, I was like, "Oh, crap, I gotta pay these off." So I jumped on that, got it done, but it's all about experience though. Back to number 2, the experience, experience, experience. You'll never stop having that one. And you can mitigate the purchase power, and eventually you will get to the point where you not really worrying about purchase power as much, as long as you're flowing it through correctly. But anyways, that's the 3 bottlenecks, guys. Let me know if what you guys have done, if there's any more bottlenecks that I didn't mention. I'm sure that everyone's experienced different bottlenecks, but those are the main ones that I can remember from my journey to this point. Again, I'm still in the experience mode. Like I'm not saying I'm above that by any means. I will never be above the experience mode, but I think that I have reached to the purchase power, spot, and, I'm mitigating it through loans and stuff, like I said, but, it's definitely it's always gonna be a struggle, you know? You're never going to be like, if you are in a comfortable spot, I feel like you should try to get out of it, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you made it to that comfortable spot, look to something else, Find something to make you uncomfortable, that way you continue to grow. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and, we'll catch you on next one. Later.